Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We have the Season 2 update for Black Ops 7 and Warzone dropping tomorrow, and today we ended up getting the full-on patch notes for this update. I think it's like the 1.090 update or something on PlayStation and on console in general here, but regardless, the Season 2 update patch notes are fully out, and with it we've got plenty of gameplay changes to go through and break down. We obviously know all about the content already. We've detailed the different blogs and everything that they've revealed over the course of the past week for multiplayer, for zombies, for Warzone, for Endgame, you name it. So we're well aware of all of this stuff at this point. Starting first here though, we do get our global updates. So they do have the new anti-cheat update. They are disabling Cronus Zen and the Zim with new detections available there. There's some new ranked play protections as well with new cloud-based attestation tech that they will eventually also roll out to the remainder of the game as well. With some multiplayer updates here, we got some new playlists, new modes as expected every single season. We've got Torment, Sake, Slums as new maps with modes pretty standard on those. We've got Safeguard as a new mode here. Nuketown 24/7 is going to be there. The standard mosh pit, Face Off, and Nexus in there as well in the 10v10 mosh pits. With weapon updates here, address an issue resulting in inconsistent melee behavior when using certain attachments on the XM325, and Season 2 weapon balancing in general is planned for an update in the near future to allow the team to monitor the latest weapons. So we'll get a weapons update and a meta update for multiplayer and for zombies after we end up getting some time spent with the new Season 2 weapons. With perks, Scout Hybrid finally gets updated. Scout is no longer a hard counter to the enemy harp. Instead, a player with active Scout buff will appear as a red dot. Then with Recon Combat Specialty, address an issue where the Recon perk bonus was not displaying the red cone indicators. Specialists, they address an issue where players would not hear audio cues when earning bonus perks. Black Hat, they address an issue where the first hack state would erase on screen if looking away from a target, and then also address an issue with the sentry turret would pop when getting hacked. With score streaks here, care package, returning Black Ops 6 score streaks have been added to the care package, so you can get those now. The dog receives 20% less damage while in sentry mode, and improved server stability with the dog active, I guess. And then on the Deadeye drone, they fixed prox chat not working when you had that active. A couple of UI updates here, address an issue causing some players to appear as level 56 in private matches, just a visual bug, and then also some visual issues with the armory. We obviously have ranked play dropping with Season 2 as well. Again, we know about this by now. We've had some blogs and some other details going through what to expect with ranked here in Black Ops 7. Should be fun to mess around and compete and go for some of these new rewards that you can get from season to season, and also from division to division as well, as some of the divisional rewards there for end of season stuff. You can get some new camos, blueprints, things of that nature there. For our zombies updates, good grief, in the interest of time, if you want to go through and manually read all of these specific map updates, feel free to go ahead and pause the video, because Ashes ended up getting a bunch of different map specific updates. We also have Astra Malorum getting a bunch of map specific updates. With directed mode here, Ashes gets some fixes. Astra Malorum also gets some fixes. Survival, they reverted the spawn frequency for TED tasks back to its original state, then also addressed an issue where players could get stuck on the TED tasks machine in Exit 115. Couple of cursed updates as well. With gameplay updates here, they addressed an issue where players would no longer be able to revive their teammates if that teammate started to self-revive. Very interesting one there. With weapon updates, you could ping the ray gun projectile. They fixed that. They increased the Sokol 545 headshot damage. On the Hawker HX, they fixed an issue here where it would show the incorrect name when packet punched. On the XM325, they fixed an issue where it only would have one attachment no matter the rarity. The ballistic knife addressed an issue where the ballistic knife kills counted towards electric damage kill challenges. Then a couple of general updates here with Dragon's Breath not scaling properly when you pack it all the way. Increase the melee range when crouched and prone as well. Players can now dive backwards when using heavy weapons. With Gunsmith, addressed an issue where the loadout would not update when using the quick equip function on a weapon while in the zombies loadout menu. Couple of ammo mod updates here to Shatter Blast and then also to Shadow Rift. Perca-Cola's also got several updates. We got some fixes with Mule Kick, fixes with Quick Revive, Vulture Aid, Wisp Tea, Death Perception, Double Tap, and Melee Macchiato. Again, if you want to read the exact specifics, feel free to go ahead and pause the video. With equipment, addressed an issue where the Symbol Monkey would not work when thrown in Stargazer's Courtyard in Astra Malorum. An issue where the Symbol Monkey would be considered out of bounds if thrown in valid locations in Ashes. Then also an issue where certain equipment can be picked up from the ground while carrying the max amount. We also saw several field upgrade fixes here. General picking up a full power-up will reduce the cost of the player's next field upgrade charge, but not below the starting cost. And then they also addressed some issues with Frenzied Guard, Frost Blast, Healing Aura, Tesla Storm in the Energy Mine, Ether Shroud, and Toxic Growth as well. Couple of support updates, an issue where certain support items would duplicate when jumping off a cliff while holding the support item in Astrum Alorum, so just some exploits there getting fixed. An issue where players would lose their support item after immediately swapping to their weapon and mantling. Added a minimap icon for the Arc XD. Addressed an issue where the crosshair would disappear when aiming the War Machine in ADS in third person. Also addressed an issue where the arrows on the combat bow would float in air after shooting a zombie. We had a couple of Gobblegum fixes go live as well, or will be going live with Season 2 here. A couple of vehicle updates addressed an issue where the player was being teleported with Old Tessie when being relocated after it was destroyed. And then also addressed an issue where the controller rumble would persist when inside of Old Tessie if the player entered the vehicle while charging the Mangler Cannon. Oddly specific one there. A couple of power-up fixes here. Then also a couple of loot updates, couple of enemy updates as well with Zursa, with Caltheris, Ravager, Oscar, and the Exfil HVTs. Few challenge updates addressed an issue that prevented the Force Multiplier challenge from progressing. That one's been on the Trello for ages now. An issue where the Monkey Business medal would not be awarded at times. An issue where the Tooth and Claw medal would not be awarded. An issue where the Drink to That calling card reward was not in the actual calling card tab on the menu. And also an issue where the player could get the Untouchable medal by killing an HVT. Couple of general updates here. Locked items in the arsenal will now appear red. Address an issue where the HUD would not display when using the turret in Old Tessie. Warning message for inactivity will no longer appear when only one player is inactive in split screen. Few augment updates, few loadout updates, audio updates. Address an issue where the stamina perk machine audio was inaudible. Then also an issue where missing audio would occur when traveling through portals back to back. And we got various stability fixes, my favorite thing in the patch notes ever. Dead Ops Arcade ends up seeing some new features and some new updates here as well. Once more, if you want to read the exact specifics here in the interest of time, feel free to go ahead and pause the video. They got some leaderboard updates, some gameplay tuning updates, and then a bunch of general updates as well. They're going crazy with the zombies bug fixes in this update for sure. Few stability updates as well. In Endgame here, Guild Strikes have now been added as a new in-game event. There's a new Eagle Eye skill track. We covered this in the original blog. A couple of new abilities here. The Sentinel Protocol Major ability and the Blood Burner Minor ability are now going to be there. New exotic weapons, Hyper Surge, Mal Spike, and then also Criticality are all going to be available to find now. Power nodes are scattered throughout Avalon now. These will give you bonus power to help you with your combat rating leveling. Then we got a few general updates here. Addressed an issue where players could equip more than one exotic skill. Addressed an issue where escaping with an unspent skill choice could lead to an error. An issue where a player could lose the explosive resistance skill. Address certain enemy pathing issues and various stability updates. Now let's jump over to the Warzone patch notes. So keep in mind as we do go through all the Warzone updates and changes here, if you guys enjoy the video, a like rating is always seriously appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, you want to ensure you're always in the know for everything going on in COD, no better place than right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Global updates here. We have the new Escalation Directive event kicking off. This will have the SG-12 shotgun and then also a new camo that you can get. I guess multiple new camos. Really, this is going to be a camo based event. We've got anti-cheat updates here as well to address the Cronus Zen and the Zims. Ranked play anti-cheat updates will also be available there. Anti-teaming updates are also coming. Enemies suspiciously sharing cash, botting behavior detection, anti-teaming behavior detection, all being updated here, so that's good news there. If players continue to engage in unfair behavior, an in-game message in Warzone Ranks play will alert them that SR is being reduced to 0 for an unfair kill, so they're going to be monitoring that a lot more in ranked here. Certainly good news across the board with that. We're also implementing new metrics to detect enemies sharing cash. Players may see an in-game message reading cash owned by enemy team when picking up cash that was suspiciously dropped by an enemy. So they're really trying to crack down on that. We obviously have Rebirth Island with the winter update here. We saw that in a couple of different blogs and posts from them over the course of the past week or so. There's some interesting changes with this, some new points of interest updates, some environmental updates as well there, seemingly some new Easter eggs. We got some new modes coming throughout the season, Loaded Resurgence, Loaded Resurgence Casual as well. Those will be the first 4 weeks. And then Rush Resurgence is also coming in week 3 there. We've got Iron Gauntlet. This will be live March 5th through the 9th. Very, very specific dates. That's presumably probably going to be right around the Reloaded update for what it's worth. We made the decision to separate this to give players a unique experience by keeping ranked play more focused and stable. We're able to support a clearer competitive avenue, basically, and this will be the big map ranked, whereas standard ranked Resurgence will be on Haven's Hollow there. We got our playlist update for the first little bit here. Standard Battle Royale, Standard Resurgence, Loaded Resurgence Quads on Rebirth, Battle Royale Casual, Resurgence Casual, Ranked Play Resurgence Trios on Haven's Hollow. Obviously, we know about Ranked Play by now. Again, very basic, all things considered. Very similar to how it's played in years past. It's got its own custom rewards here for Warzone versus multiplayer as well. New general Warzone updates added a utility box for players spawning during pre-match. We've got some new win streak camos now available as well for 10 and 15 wins in BR, 30 and 50 wins in Resurgence as well. Kill streak call-in restrictions now better reflect individual call-ins, reducing issues with multiple streaks being used at the same location. Players should see airspace crowded less often. That's really solid there. Players will now see at your active limit if you're trying to call in the same kill streak again and again, though. There is a new smoke screen streak, a bombardment that deploys smoke in a line. Pretty self-explanatory. Then the RCXD is going to be available on Rebirth only. They've adjusted some streaks here. The advanced UAV now requires 4 UAVs instead of just 3, so you're gonna have to spend some extra money for that. An interesting update there for sure. Cluster strike missile travel time reduced. Napalm strike, a couple of updates here. Explosive damage increased, the radius increased, individual bomb spread increase. Fire patch damage now deals 100 damage per second. Fire patch length increased and width increased as well. Attacks on the precision airstrike are gonna strike the target location 1 second faster. We do have some new perks. Field Medic is going to be replacing Veteran. We learned about this a few days back. We'll go through and break down the new perk meta here, presumably in the coming days, so stay tuned for that. Drill Instructor, it was previously Grenadier, then also Surveyor previously was Cold-Blooded there. They also adjusted Scavenger, removed the cash components from the Scavenger bag. It's become a necessity due to the cash addition, so they're nerfing that some. With Loot and Economy, Care Package added the smoke screen. Loot Pool, Stim Shots replace Smokes. C4 replaces Claymore. Decontamination Station replaces War Cries. We've got updated lootable perks. Now we have Tracker, Shrouded Alertness, and Surveyor in Legendary chests. Tracker, Alertness, Tempered, and Reactive Armor as contract rewards. The cost of the UAV buy stations is 8,000, so you now need 4 UAVs and 8,000 per, you can do the math, to get an advanced UAV. So that's going to be a much more rare occurrence in game. Spawn locations have been updated as well in Verdansk. Redacted contracts on a Rebirth only, they're going to be a question mark, and it'll basically be a bounty, a scavenger, or a recon objective. Chaining multiple redacted contracts increases rewards. Recon, also the cash payouts were updated here. 4K to 2K in solos, 2.5 to 1.3 in duos, 2K to 1K in trios, 1.8 to 900 in quads. Weapon updates here. We obviously have some new weapons, the Rev 46, the EGRT-17, the Hellsaw Melee. We'll have the Havoc Special Launcher coming. We've got the SG-12 shotgun in season as well. New attachments across the board. We covered some of these in our weapons video just the other day. Then we get our actual meta changes here. This targets several core objectives, enhancing rifle effectiveness at long range, making FMJ more compelling, and boosting overall competitiveness across the SMG category. In general, BO7 rifles, the FMJ ammo now has better range, velocity, and induced flinch, and the penetration is the same. So you can kind of use FMJ now for better range if you want. On the AK-27, they buffed the max damage range. That's going to be insane. This gun is already maybe the best rifle in the game. Can't believe they buffed its long range more. They also made some attachment adjustments here. Reload time improved, better horizontal control, better vertical control, things of that nature. It's a challenging weapon to master because of its control, but buffing it's going to make it much easier now. On the Mirage here, they did some attachment adjustments. Reload speed faster, bullet velocity penalty reduced on the Westerlize barrel, better control basically, better mobility as well on some of these attachments. So just changing up your builds a little bit. On the M15 mod, they did nerf this. I'm not surprised. It was pretty strong before this update. So close range damage, mid damage, both nerfed there. Then the range everywhere was nerfed. The reload time on the Bulwark mag was also improved. M15 has been overperforming, particularly in the mid range. This will obviously balance that out some. It should still be very good because it's so easy, but it will be a little bit worse than before. The Maddox, they reduced recoil deviation. Vertical recoil was reduced. Horizontal recoil was reduced. Bullet velocity increased, and then we saw a couple of attachment updates as well, similar to the other ones. They copy and pasted the M15 box though, but in general, Maddox will be a little bit easier and more effective over range. MXR, its long range got buffed. That was probably needed. They kind of killed it with its last nerf. Velocity was also buffed. Then we saw some attachment updates there. Peacekeeper, long range damage buff as well. Also better horizontal and recoil across the board because both of those were reduced there. And then more attachment updates. Peacekeeper has struggled at longer ranges due to its high recoil. These changes make it more manageable at range while rewarding players who can stay on target with a more competitive time to kill. Solid. Then the Maverick, just some attachment updates in general here. With SMGs, the Carbon mid-range is even better. The Carbon was already so good in the mid-range. I'm a fan of this. I like it. It's going to make my favorite gun right now even better. They also buffed the upper torso and arm multipliers, gave it some attachment adjustments, adjusting ADS movement speed, horizontal control benefits, ADS speeds, things of that nature. With the Dravik, its range gets buffed across the board and its mid damage is even better now. That's solid. Upper torso and arm multipliers buffed as well. Kogot, first damage range, now stronger. That's going to fry up close. Also some attachment updates. On the Raiden, ADS speed improved, rate of fire improved a little bit so that TTK might get a little bit faster. That could be one to keep an eye on. Sturmwolf gets its range nerfed, but its damage is still very good, so that should still be a top option, quite frankly. Ooh, they did nerf the headshot multiplier, the arm multiplier, and the lower torso and leg multipliers. It stood out too much thanks to its ease of use, range, and damage, so this is going to obviously balance it out some there. The Echo 12 attachment updates, ADS pellet spread benefit was improved on the Echo modified choke. And then on the Breacher, sprint to fire and ADS speeds improved. A couple of attachment updates with that. MK78 gets even better range, which was already very good. Flinch resistance improved, ADS improved, sprint to fire improved, movement improved, ADS movement speed improved. Solid updates to the MK78, already a top tier long range option in general there. Couple of attachment updates. XM325 close damage gets a slight buff there, better control, recoil deviation reduced, lower torso and leg multiplier buff, better velocity, better ADS speed. So this will be a little bit better. Its control and its handling is still not very good though. Then the M8 full auto, minimum damage was actually buffed. Ooh, that could be interesting for the long range. Reload speed improved, better recoil in general here, better velocity as well. Default loadouts were updated just to replace some old guns with some of the new guns there. Gulag Rev 46 now replaces the Razor. A couple of challenge updates, fixed select placement challenges to properly award progress, updated select challenge descriptions as well, updated the Ravager special camo challenge from acquiring ADS elims to kills shortly after sprinting. Kill cam, health, and armor of the attacker are now visible when you watch a kill cam, so you can be even more upset and have to cope even more when you get taken out in a weird way. And then we got bug fixes to close things out, which is always, you guys know, we speedrun. So they fixed an issue where the hostile UAV and area voiceover would not play at times. An issue where random operator selection did not actually prioritize favorited operators. An issue where the favorite supply box would give you the wrong guns. I had that happen so many times. An issue where players would receive a kill streak airspace too crowded issue with 0 seconds on your timer constantly. An issue where a player's chosen operator would sometimes just change. An issue where selecting your own name on the scoreboard would mute or unmute a different player. An issue that allowed players in isolated cases to fall through the map. That's not healthy. An issue where players could not leave a match rather after rejoining once their team had been eliminated. An issue where flames from the napalm could interfere with pings. An issue where landing next to a helicopter could cause it to instantly explode. I'm glad I didn't run into that one ever. An issue where the train recon contract would sometimes automatically fail. Then also an issue when entering the armory for the first time, causing a freeze. Overall, decent meta update here. The content should be pretty cool. I'm more so looking forward to the mid-season update with Blackout and some of the things there, but some of the LTMs should be pretty fun here. New weapons, new events, pretty standard seasonal update. It's going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on it. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.